Hey friends and fam, it's Zintars again. I just finished my first tournament on string pins, so I thought I want to tell you about some of the funny, weird, and exciting things that happened while I was out there. It was a cool time out in the regional, but definitely some things that happened that if you haven't bowled on string pins yet, you should be aware of. And before I go any further, please remember, like this video, subscribe to my channel, it would be a lot of help. And most importantly, especially for this topic, I want a discussion. I want to hear your comments, your thoughts, your feelings, what you've experienced on string pin bowling. So I look forward to chatting with y'all. While I'm going to list out what happened to me, I'm still very much in favor of string pins. I really think it's adding new elements to the game of 10-pin bowling. As bowlers, it makes us focus a lot more on what's happening after we throw the ball, especially when the ball goes through the pins, and what's happening when the pins are on the deck. And then it makes us focus on what's happening around us with not just our own bowling, but other bowlers around us. So I really think that, not just because of what it does for the sport, but we know we need it business-wise too, because of loss of mechanics and parts, and just for the financial feasibility of everything. With that all being said, here's what happened on my first time on string pins. So I'm going to be taking a two-pronged approach to this video. Yes, I'll be telling you about what happened during the PBA Regional in my 8 games competing, but at the same time, I'll be posting up the footage from practice. So while that practice footage is playing, I'll just tell you about what was going on during the tournament and what I saw or what happened to me and some of my my cohort as we were bowling through 8 games. It didn't take long for me to have my first string pin folly, I guess you could say. It was just in game 1. I threw a great shot and I stoned a 10-pin, right? I thought I did, at least. I turned around absolutely sure that it was there, and when I came back, looked around, and it scored a strike. Okay, maybe I missed something. Normally, yeah, you ask everyone around you, hey, what happened? What did you see? If someone saw the 10-pin got knocked over by the machine, yeah, of course, put it back up and I'll shoot my 10-pin. Both of the people on my pair thought they saw the 10-pin as well, and then after seeing the 10-pin, they disregarded it. I just said, okay, let's see what we should do. Brought over the tournament director for a ruling. And at that point, I was a little shocked because we were then told that in this case with string pins, the scoring is based on what the machine felt. So it felt that the 10-pin had been knocked around and the sensor picked up that the string had been pulled. So I was told that I'm to take the strike, which was interesting to me because I'm the kind of person that I totally work on an honor system, right? I was fully prepared to shoot a 10-pin. Cool. I'm the beneficiary of it. I don't feel good about it, but I'll take it, and odds are something else will happen along the way, right? So, okay, that happened. No big deal, I guess. Later in game 1, bowler on my left goes up, throws a shot, and I don't see the whole shot, but I see 7 and 10 up. I notice that the 7 kind of rolls off, the side stands up. Okay, it's standing in the gutter, so 10-pin's on the deck. As I go up, I throw my shot, I 7-10. That doesn't have anything to really do with what happened, but I just threw a 7-10 and we were kind of giggling about it. So the bowler on my left, brought the tournament director down, and I got confirmation that what I saw was right. The 7 was standing, but in the gutter, and the 10 was left on the deck. But the machine had reset that bowler's 7-10 split. So everyone agreed that the 7 was knocked off the deck, so the 7 was removed, and the bowler was just to shoot the 10-pin. In just one game, already had a couple of times when many of us in the tournament were not used to string pin. We were using this regional as a opportunity to bowl on string pin for the first time. We started to quickly notice we need to pay attention. There are things that are happening or that can happen in string pin where it might disrupt the scoring a little bit, or it may make the scoring incorrect. And what it comes down to is it's based on not what's necessarily left, but this is wholly based on what the string sensor is feeling. So be aware. Game 2, I had a 6, 7, 10 split on a bad shot, but because I'd watched the shot very clearly, the 7 got smacked around a little bit, but it stood. The sensor then said the 7 had been knocked down. Therefore, I only had to shoot the 6-10 spare. Okay, we had discussion on my pair again. Given the ruling that we had before, I shoot the 6-10, and that's it. Again, I'm following the rules. That's fine. Only 2 games in of 8, and I'm feeling kind of weird about the whole situation, but hey, I'll do it. I'm just doing what I'm told, right? Can't think about it much because we had to focus on our shots, and that's it. And then the last interesting moment came in either game 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly which now, but one of the bowlers on my pair nailed the pocket, blew the rack, but the 7-pin was leaning up against the wall. It was actually then not scored a strike. And that's similar to the situation I told you about the bowler on my left side where the string had not been pulled enough. So clearly all bowlers around, at this point, this late in the set, we agree we all have to be watching everybody's shot. We are all in agreement that the 7-pin is leaning in a way that no machine would pick it up. There's no way that it would be considered to be standing in anyone's definition of the word, right? We have the tournament director and someone that works for the house also confirmed that that's just the situation. The pin has fallen, but the scorer still counted it as up because the string had not been pulled enough. So there you have it. Those are a couple of my situations that I witnessed firsthand in my first ever on any string pin bowling of any sort. And even though those were just scoring issues, there was one other thing that really started to not throw me off, but just caught my attention throughout the tournament set. There's like this interesting bucktooth effect that you can get on the lane, and you'll see in the picture here, but because of how the lighting and shadows work, it's the pins that are not on the deck that have been pulled up. So you see either dark spots or light spots on the lane. It's just different. There's nothing wrong with it. If you've been bowling for thousands of hours and a whole lifetime like I have, then you're just not used to seeing it. So I'm always watching everybody's shots. And when I say that, I tend to watch the people I line up with very well, watching their lane play, right? But now on string pin bowling, I'm watching everything. I'm not just stopping after the ball has gotten to the break point and made its move. What I've seen and experienced in my first string pin bowling tournament was I have to watch more shots all the way through, and then as the ball's off the deck, and I'm looking for a final pinfall. And you have to do that because you want to make sure you get the scoring right. It sounds more taxing, but hey, if we have to focus a little bit more in a sport as professional athletes, I'm all for it. We should be forced to or made to focus. I don't think bowling is a sport where you just throw a ball and let it go and then you think you're done with the shot. I could tell you that throughout the tournament, there was an ongoing joke of thank you strings, because I won't deny it, there are definitely some shots where you are probably getting some extra carry thanks to the pins in their strings getting tangled up. We've seen some phantom carry. That's just how it goes. But I will definitely say that for every thank you strings I heard, there was a shot where a messenger didn't get all the way across the deck. There were a lot of hits where the carry just was not as live as I'm used to seeing in free fall. So just as with any other day, night, tournament, league, night, whatever it may be, everything balances out, everything evens out. There's still luck involved, no matter what. Even if you're bowling in free fall, you may say that, you know what, I made a great shot, but I don't deserve that 10 pin. Well, it doesn't matter because there was a 10 pin standing and you still have to shoot for it. And then with strings, You might get some extra carry, you might not. But welcome to the sport where you can be absolutely perfect and still not get rewarded. We participate in bowling knowing this is a possibility regardless of if it's on strings or if it's free fall. To get the absolute best carry, it doesn't matter if it's free fall or string pin, it still matters most how you get to the pocket. What are you doing on the lane? What's your ball doing on the lane? How are you getting the ball to the pocket? Because ultimately that's where your carry comes from. And I will end with this. Just because I say that there's clear differences in free fall versus string pin bowling, there's plenty, and I mean plenty of shots that I saw in this regional where I could easily say that would carry free fall or strings. If you hit it flush, the pins fly off the deck backwards. Nothing stands. So in all, yeah, there were some little quirky things, but hey, it doesn't change the sport. String pin, free fall, doesn't matter to me. I'm still entering every tournament where I can. And I hope you guys do too. This is for the good of the sport, and this is for us to have fun. If you want to talk about it more, please do leave a comment below. Let's talk about this because I want to see what other people's experiences were like on string pin bowling. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you in the next video.